I see that I've been kind of in and out on things today,
Mm-hmm.
but it looks like Sarah got a deal that's happening today.
Yeah, well,
see that?
Sarah got another deal under contract, but she's got 4 deals in the pipeline. 3 are going to closing, which is really nice. That's a really nice thing. And then Donald has, where's my calendar? Sorry, I'm a little behind here. Donald has a closing this week. I know. Sorry, I wasn't prepared for this part. I don't know why. Okay, so Sarah has 2 closing this week. Adam has a potential closing on Wednesday. And where is Donald's closing? Oh, here it is. Okay. Donald has a closing the following week. So that's what's currently in the pipeline. As we know, like typically Wednesdays and Fridays, sometimes Mondays tend to be some closing days, but it's typically been like Wednesdays and Fridays recently. You have you been closing anything on Mondays recently?
No. Well, I closed one late Thursday night because I have the check from when I went to the beach and met the folks. But I do have one closing this week.
Nice.
At some point this week.
And it'll be on you think a Friday? I mean, that's what that's what I've been seeing. I've been seeing just a trend
Thursday
of
or Friday, probably.
Yeah. At least that's what tends to happen with the the title companies. Anyway, we got that going on. We got a few closings. And hold on, let me give a shout out and welcome to everybody. I know I'm like jumping the gun. I gotta just follow my notes. That's what I gotta do. Follow
you're
the
supposed to be leading. You're the
lead.
lead.
I'm supposed to follow my notes. Welcome everyone to the No Fear Show with your hosts, Mike Mackenzie and myself, Nathan Amaral. So glad to have you here. By the way, if it's your first time here, let us know. Put new in the comments if you've been here before. Let us know. Say hello so we can say hello back to you. And we do have quite a bit of success stories, people closing deals, which is really good in this very odd time in the market. I'm hearing like almost every day in the news. I like to catch up on the news sometimes. I'm hearing like volatility in the stock market, which it tends to be, right? It's just an up and down game. But with real estate, we're seeing a steady, strong ticking up. However, I was talking to an investor today. Wow, did you know Realtor.com is down? That's crazy. I've never seen that before. Realtor.com is down, and it says we'll be back up momentarily. How sad. What was I saying?
It is 2020. Realtor.com.
That's down. Okay. We're back up. So the Fed chairman said we're gonna be basically at the same level. But I was talking to an investor today, and he has been buying more property than he said he was in 2018 and 2019. And I was just saying to him, I was like, man, how are you buying these properties? I hope you're not paying retail. And he said, no, I always like to get a good deal. I either like to get them on like bankruptcies or foreclosures, that kind of stuff. Because, I mean, it seems like real estate keeps ticking up, which is good for a buyer's market, right? I mean, it's great when, people are buying properties, which we're seeing. You agree?
I agree. Mm-hmm. People are buying and selling. So
buying and selling.
It's a good time to be in real estate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's for sure. And since there's a lot of people that are relocating, by the way, how's those forest fires going over there in the West? Have you heard anything about that?
Not a lot.
Not a lot.
I got to focus on the East Coast.
I know. Yeah, it's true. No, I
don't know. I talked to who was it? I talked to somebody from California, and they told me, said, it's a fact of life. They weren't downplaying it. But they said that, if you're a resident, it's like you guys have hurricanes this time of year. We have forest fires.
Oh my! So it's like a normal thing for them. But when you see it on the news and they're talking about thousands and thousands and thousands of acres, it seems like, all these homes burning, and it's like, whoa, that's a lot of people. But not just because of forest fires, not just because of taxes and COVID, but we're seeing a lot of people move out of these cities for multiple reasons, whether it was, tax purposes, especially like New York and Connecticut and California. They're relocating for different places, as well as because of forest fires, because of COVID, and the way work has changed. So a lot of people are relocating, buying land, buying new houses, re-renting. in different markets. Definitely seeing an uptick in that, and I don't think it's going anywhere. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon.
I don't either. And I think, another reason, it's a small percentage, I'm sure, but it's a safety thing. Some of these people are a little scared about what's going on in some of these larger cities.
Yeah.
As far as protests and all that mess, that
True.
They're ready to get their family out to somewhere where it's a little safer, maybe some property.
Yeah.
At least a weekend getaway or something.
I can agree with that, and I think that's I don't know, like the downtown area. I think this is going to change a lot for downtown areas. Where here, I don't think we've heard enough of data because right now what politics is kind of like really infiltrating the news at the moment, and I think we're going to start hearing a lot more numbers maybe after the election, because we got a lot of numbers of people who are going through delinquents, right? We got delinquent payments happening, right, on forbearance programs, forbearance, and then delinquents, and then after that it's foreclosures. So I heard a number coming out of Housing Wire News that there is about 2 million people that are past due on their forbearance program, I guess you could call it, forbearance programs. They're already they're expired, and now they're in past due.
You're in arrears, yeah.
Yeah. So in the next few months, if nothing happens, if there's not a second stimulus or something, I don't know, whatever happens, it's going to be really interesting. By the way, what's your take on that? What do you think about this next? Should there be another stimulus? Should there not be? What's your take on that?
I think you got to be careful on how you do it, because what I'm seeing is that stimulus win, the unemployment thing. I think that's great for the folks that are out of work. But what it also created was a group that also was making a lot more money being unemployed than they were working.
Yeah.
So when stuff starts opening back, it's hard to get help back. And I see both sides of the argument for the person that's getting, $1,000 a week unemployment versus, working their butt off for $600 a week.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm from the get go. I don't even think we got a stimulus check the first time. Anyway, my take on it is, thankfully, and I'm very thankful, I'm very humble that I don't need a stimulus check.
Yeah.
And I would rather see that go to somebody that does need it.
Yeah.
That maybe was in the service industry that is really suffering.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, that's a good point. And there are some people I've talked to where they said, hey, I don't need a stimulus check, but yet it's still coming in the mail, right? So at the end of the day, like, my advice to them was, okay, it's obviously coming to you no matter what, however amount you're getting. Then do something with it. Maybe you can help somebody else out who can't make their mortgage payment, can't make their rent payments. Donald asked me a question, and I wanted to bring this up to you today. Donald's been doing some land for this year, and he's been doing really well. We know he's been doing really well, and I wanted to get your take on this because Donald has told me from the beginning, I think he probably told you as well, that he wanted to kind of transition. Like, he wants to get into commercial. He's always admired, like, if I talk about like something commercial or apartments and stuff like this, he's like, wow, that's really good. But one of the things, and I want your take on this, is he said, hey, Nate, when do you think I should, get into commercial, right? And that question came up. What is your take on that for someone just kind of getting started in real estate, and making some good money? When would you advise someone to make that transition into the next, let's say, phase or the next level of real estate?
Well, if you have asked me this pre-2006, 2007, I probably would have gave you a different answer.
Okay.
I'm a little bit more conservative now, because then I was transitioning into other things without getting my foundation business.
That's a good point.
As solid as I should.
Okay.
I think it's very important. First of all, let me say, I think diversity is good.
Okay.
I'm really cool about that. There's certain things I've talked about that I like and that you like. But I think that it takes, it's not just a year. It may be 2-year thing of really building a solid foundation for your primary company, whatever it is, to get that running. There's a couple projects I want to do. I've held off because I'm trying to build cash flow every month for my base company.
Yeah.
And there's other aspects that you and I do too, but I think it's very important not to rush the process. I understand you want to get into that, and I think Donald will do great in it. And he is well on his way of building a strong foundation.
Right.
He's getting things in place, systems in place, all that, to where that he can. What you don't want to do is start this other thing, and your main business suffer because you don't have the time that you need to put into the business.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. I like also how you reflected in the past till now, right? You went, if you talked to me a few years ago, it would have been different. Can completely agree with you. I find that also, I guess I just go back to the words of one of my first real estate coaches, the guy who flew out to my area and said, you're going to do this style of real estate for 2 years, and you're not going to do anything else until you hit a certain number of deals, like a certain dollar figure in deals, and then you can transition and go do something else. And I took that advice because at the time, before him, I was jumping around, doing all these strategies all at the same time, probably like 4 strategies, all at the same time, trying to find what worked. And I wasn't laser focused, that all of a sudden, I started getting the deals mixed up. I started like, oh, could this be a lease option deal? Could this be a... Right, I would start to put it all together. And I never really found good deals until I got laser focused on my buyers. I found out what they wanted. I knew where they wanted it and how much they were willing to pay. And I just got laser focused in that strategy. So thanks for sharing that, because I can relate. Like looking back, if I didn't have that kind of training with my coach, then I would have probably done the same. I would have done the same thing. I just want to go out on this weird road of, hopping around from strategy to strategy, which unfortunately a lot of people do that, right? They'll learn a strategy for like 6 months, and then if they're not successful or less, they jump to another strategy. And then if they're not successful in that, they'll jump to another strategy, right? And they just keep this cycle of learning, right?
People get that misconception, and it's because of the things you see on TV, that real estate's an overnight success. And more times than not, it's not. It certainly wasn't overnight for me. And most people, it's not. So you got to look at your real estate business the same as if you were opening up a Subway franchise, any business, a boutique, whatever. It takes time and sometimes years to build it to where you need it. It's not going to happen overnight.
I heard a great...
Not solid.
True. I heard a great quote today that I absolutely love, and it was a comparison of the stock market to real estate. And it was, with the stock market, you have to have good timing, right? You have to time the stock market right. And with real estate, you have to be willing to wait, right, for the market to get, patience. And when I heard that quote today, I was like, oh, that's so true. It goes back to what I just said just even recently in one of my videos. I was like, yeah, it's all about patience. You have to wait for, and that's the beauty about real estate too, is because you get a lot of benefits with real estate over stocks. You get a lot more benefits, not only in taxes, but in capital gains and depreciation and write-offs. There's a whole lot more benefits compared to the stock market, but it's true that you have to have more patience. And I think sometimes people getting antsy and wanting to grow quickly, they can get a little discouraged or I don't know what the word is, but like anxious to grow faster when they should, pace it out. So
take it slow.
Take it slow. Yeah. Yeah. So my advice, not only to him, but would be to anybody, would be this, is same thing my coach taught me. Set a numerical goal. Set a dollar amount. How much money do you want to make in this strategy? It's got to be more than $10,000. You know, it's got to be like either $100,000, $300,000, $500,000.
At least six figures.
At least six figures, exactly. At least six figures. Do a six-figure target, and then you can say, okay, I've done this enough. I made six figures. I can move on and test something else out. I can dabble in whether it's apartments or I can buy a single-family house and rent it out. Whatever you want to do. That's I think a good number to hit.
You know, a cool thing that I like. People will always, why don't you do the stock market? Well, here's a cool thing. I can buy a bunch of Apple stock that's going to be very expensive, and it can go up. But if I'm holding on to that asset, I'm just holding on to it. If I buy property, I can lease it out.
Right.
If it's house single family, whatever, I can rent it. My money can make money on my investment. Whereas the stock market, it's kind of just riding it out. Same thing with a lot of people that during I talked to a guy actually when I was in Florida that he actually bought a bunch of properties when the market was down, when the market tanked.
Yeah.
He put people in renting those properties for 4 or 5 years till the market came back up. Then he dumped them. So his money was paying for itself during that time.
Right.
Rather than just having it tied up. And then he made that much more once the market was back up.
Yeah. Well, even that, if you were to take that same amount too, if you were to take whatever he spent on the houses or whatever you compare that to the stock market. If you were to take $100,000 and you put it in the stock market, you can only buy $100,000 worth of stock. Okay. And then you're going to get taxed on capital gains. You're going to, if the stock goes down, you're going down with it. You're losing your capital. But with real estate, if you took those same $100,000, well, you now can multiply, leverage your money anywhere between, 3 to 5, 3 to 6% times more just because of leverage, just because of the way the banking system allows you to lend, pull money out against your own real estate. In addition to taxes and oh my gosh, there's a whole bunch of benefits from the tax side of things and depreciation and also and still you can collect income and still.
I know a lot of real estate investors that multi-million-dollar real estate investors that because of their assets and things don't even have to pay taxes.
Yeah.
And they're not doing anything illegal.
Right.
It's all it's all in the depreciation. There's tax laws and things like that people take advantage of. And you hear people sometimes say that, well, that's not right. I know he made that kind of money. How's he not? Look, if your accountant's doing things legally,
yeah.
I mean, I'm here to tell you, I don't mind paying my fair share.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that I can, but I'm not going to pay additional if I don't have to.
Yeah. Well,
speaking of which, I actually saved, just had my taxes, my personal stuff done.
Yeah.
And I thought that I was going to have to pay $10,000 more than I have to. And it was all because of real estate stuff that was able to bring it down. And I pay quarterly anyway, so I really didn't want to pay anything. But it's a whole lot less. And I told I was sitting with my wife for tax, and I said, look, we only got to pay this. And she's like,
sweet.
And that's a good thing? I said, yeah, because I thought it was going to be this.
Yeah.
I just got a $10,000 bonus.
Yeah, exactly. Which goes right back into the economy. I think a lot of people miss out on this part. And it's so interesting we're bringing this up randomly at this point in time because it just so happens that we're right around election season and all over the news right now is President Trump's tax returns.
He didn't pay any taxes.
Right. His tax returns. And what a lot of people don't understand is literally the legal, let me point this out, legal loopholes. And they're not even loopholes. They're just options. They're not
tax laws.
They're tax laws that are in place. And a lot of people don't realize that. And because it's in real estate, there's a lot more for real estate than more people know. And most people just feel just like if they're in the stock market that, if I make money, I got to get taxed. Well, that's not true with real estate. you can actually have a gain. And very simply, most people know this word, a 1031 exchange. That is a tax advantage just for offsetting capital gains. Right there. Absolutely. And most people know that when it's kind of very popular, but there's even more. Yeah.
Yeah. There's depreciations, you can take depreciations over years.
Mm-hmm.
I know when the market tanked, I took losses. I had so much loss that I was able to take it for multiple years.
Yeah.
Because there's a cap that you can do.
Yeah, my buddy lit up my phone when he's like, "Did you hear about President Trump? He only paid $750." I said, "Listen," I said, "calm down." Yeah, and then it was so interesting. He sends me this article, right, and it literally says like the $700 whatever, $50 whatever. And I'm like, I don't know. I'm not a CPA. I don't know what's going on. And then a few lines down, it says, oh, he has a $100 million tax bill coming up. So I'm like, did they forget that part? I guess his audit is almost done. That's probably what it is. As soon as your audit is through, then you got to start paying your tax bills. And if he has a $100 million tax bill, well, I'm sure he want. At the end of the day, and I don't want to make this a political thing and it's Trump or whoever it is. At the end of the day, those laws are in place. And the good thing is real estate allows us the opportunity to have that advantage. And that's a good thing. It's good for everybody who's listening to this. It's open to everybody. Got to get the people on your team and make it happen.
And the people that want to throw those stones, some of those folks are people that actually owe taxes.
No, it's
non-political, but it's just taxes. Everybody gripes about taxes.
Right.
A buddy of mine put it in good perspective. He said, Mike, be thankful you're in a position that you owe that, because you made that and you can pay it.
Right.
And that's true.
Yeah, no, it's true. Yeah, it's actually, I had a similar experience. It actually came from one of my CPAs in North Carolina, and I was just like really frustrated. I was like, why do I have to pay all this money? And he's like, well, think about it this way. I mean, you've made more money this year than you ever have of us cooking your books, doing your books. That's going to come back and bite me.
That's not a good thing.
Let me just add it that. Oh, God. Yeah, no. So he said, you've made more money, so now you can pay more, now you have the ability to pay more taxes. I said, yeah, but so it just comes down to this. I look at it this way, Mike, and I'd love to hear your take on this. I look at it this way. Do you want the federal government and bureaucracy to manage your money, or would you want to be more in control of managing your money? Because I see it like this. If you put more money into the people's hands, they can decide what they're going to do with it and how they're going to, spend the money, put it back into the economy. If you put it back into the government's hands, well, then they're going to create more programs and, programs. I guess that's the easiest way to put it. They're going to create more social programs for individuals, some of them which are a little bit above and beyond. What are your thoughts on that?
Right. I agree. I want to be in control of my money.
Mm-hmm.
Or probably around my house, every end of every quarter, you probably hear moaning and groaning from me because, my accountant says, you got to pay this.
Yeah.
And it's, I get that. Still doesn't, feel good to have to write a check. Yeah. But I understand it and I appreciate it at the end of the year. Last year was a year. I told my accountant, I called it and I said, look, dude, I owe you so much. Apologies because I cussed you. I wanted to kill you every quarter because he held me on a strict plan to pay this, and I didn't want to, but it was nice at the end of the year,
right,
because I wasn't hit with some huge tax bill.
Right.
Can you get in the country yet?
Yeah, I can get in and out, actually.
Well, you're a citizen.
Yeah. I know, you're like making it.
Although you don't live here, you're still a citizen.
Yeah, I'm still a citizen. I'm what do they call it? Nomad, remote worker. I'm a remote worker, man. I'm working remotely. So yeah, I can fly in and out, no problem. The only problem is I'd have to kind of organize it with my family and stuff. And right now I'm taking my kids to school every day, so yeah, it's a little tricky. But I gotta.
You fly in, I'm flying to Florida.
What's that?
when you fly into Florida, I'm flying down there.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's why I was trying to organize your next trip too. Like, when are you gonna? When you let me know when you're going to Miami, or Florida.
Flexible.
You're flexible. Okay, that's what I'm thinking. But this is Tampa, by the way.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
I like Tampa.
Yeah, I do too. I don't know why. Yeah.
Flying to Florida is cheap, dude.
Yeah, so isn't it like,
I'm glad to come to Florida.
Yeah. All right. We'll plan it out, because I got to get down there. I got to go set up my stuff, and oh man, I'm actually excited. Have you ever had that feeling? You've probably changed houses a few times in your life. You ever had that feeling where you're leaving a home and you're like, oh, I would have missed that place, right? I'm not missing Massachusetts. I'm like running out. I'm like, let's go. But I literally felt that way in 2010 when I moved to South Carolina. I was happy. I couldn't wait to get out of Massachusetts. But now with everything out of Massachusetts, it's great. It's been fun. It's been fun, Massachusetts. Thank you for taking all my taxes.
Yeah. You're taking your last tax out of me.
Oh, yeah, man. I'm done being Taxachusetts. Oh, my goodness. Oh, man. Well, this has been a very varietous show today. We've covered all kinds of stuff. Any last words of wisdom for the week, sir? Did you see?
Lord. God.
I saw Jonathan's Lord now. I was like, isn't it like $50 to buy land in Ireland? Is that what it is?
Something like that. Yeah.
Oh.
Are we going to have to change the other company docs
right?
for him to be a Lord owner?
That's a good point. I was like, this guy. I was like, we must think alike sometimes, because I was like, I should do that.
I told my wife about it. I said, I'm gonna do that. Like,
we should all do it. We should
do it just to have it.
Yeah, just to have it. Put the signature in our emails. Oh, goodness. Good stuff. All right. Any parting words, Mike?
My parting words is for everyone out there to keep doing what you're doing. I sound like a broken record, but I am so amazed and so happy for what our people are doing.
So true.
They have really... they got serious about their business.
Yeah.
And it's paying off.
So true.
You can't, if you're going to be successful in this, you got to jump both feet in it and go for it. And it's paying off for our people. And, it's so fun to see what they're doing each week and then the chats and things. And I'm just... keep up the good work. Yeah,
it's so true. I completely agree with you. There's not, like we always say, there's nothing more rewarding than having, the people that you're helping close deals, make money, change their lives. I literally, it was so cool, but to hear Sarah on last week's call where she said, hey, it's Friday and I'm taking it off now to be with my kids on Fridays. And that was like such a cool thing, where before it may not have been an option, and a lot of work going on, but that was just such a cool thing to hear. So that's what it's all about. The freedom to choose, the freedom to make those choices. Good stuff.